Hello my friends, story time with Mrs. Beth again. A big shout out to all Sophies who are out there. I hope you're going to enjoy my story. I hope everybody does. I have 2 books about a little girl named Sophie. You know what? Sometimes we get angry. Sometimes we get hurt. We got to work those problems out. Let's see how Sophie did it. The first book, When Sophie Gets Angry, really, really angry, and When Sophie's Feelings Are Really, Really Hurt. Let's read it. When Sophie gets angry, really, really angry. Sophie was busy playing when, my turn, her sister grabbed Gorilla. No, said Sophie. Yes, said her mother. It is her turn now, Sophie. As her sister snatched Gorilla away, Sophie fell over the truck. Oh, is Sophie ever angry now? Look at her angry face. She kicks. She screams. She wants to smash the world to smithereens. She roars a red roar. Oh boy, she's angry. Sophie is a volcano, ready to explode. And when Sophie gets angry, really, really angry, she runs. She runs and runs and runs until she can't run anymore. And then, for a little while, she cries. Now she sees the rocks, the trees and ferns. She hears a bird, tweet, 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 in the tree. She comes to the old beech tree. She climbs. She loves to climb it. She feels the breeze blow her hair. She watches the water and the waves. She's up high. The wide world comforts her. Sophie feels better now. She climbs back down and heads for home. The house is warm and smells good. I'm home. Everyone is happy and glad she's home. Everything's back together again. And Sophie isn't angry anymore. When Sophie's feelings are really, really hurt. Sophie loves to paint. She also loves the woods. Now, Miss Maury is telling the class, after school, find a tree you like a lot. Look at it carefully, the trunk, the branches, the leaves. Tomorrow we're going to paint that tree from memory. See what you can remember, and we'll paint it from memory. Sophie already has a favorite tree, a big birch tree in the woods by her house. Whenever she feels angry or sad, she climbs this tree and her anger and sadness melt away. Sophie feels good just walking towards her tree. Her breathing is deep and slow. She looks at the birch tree very carefully. The trunk is thick at the bottom and thin at the top, like a long triangle, and the branches go straight out and then curve. As she climbs, Sophie feels the smooth bark under her hands. She looks closely at the bark, the branches, and the leaves. When she looks up, the leaves glow in the sun. Sophie sits on a high branch and holds the trunk, memorizing everything. She climbs down and carries her memories home. In school the next day, Sophie is very excited. She knows her painting will show how much she loves the tree. She can see it in her mind. But when she paints, the trunk is gray. It looks dull and sad. It feels all wrong. My tree isn't sad at all, Sophie thinks. What can I do? She paints her tree turquoise blue. Well, not sad anymore. But now she has another problem. If the tree is blue, what color is the sky? Sophie paints the sky orange. Now the tree pops right out. The beech tree looks wonderful, the way it makes Sophie feel. But plain green leaves look too dark. Sophie remembers how each leaf glowed in the sun. She tries yellow and mixes in some green. She even knows this color's name, chartreuse. Yes, chartreuse. How can she make the tree still more wonderful? She paints yellow all around it, as if it's shining. She fills her shining tree with animals she's seen in the woods. Oh, is Sophie ever happy now? She loves her painting. And a beautiful birch tree. Andrew looks over at her painting. Sophie, your tree is wrong, he says. Real trees aren't blue. Other children move closer to see. You made a goofy orange sky too, Andrew says. Everyone starts to giggle. We're supposed to paint a real tree, Sophie. You did it wrong. Oh dear. Sophie feels her face get hot. She stares down at her sneakers. She feels tears dribbling down her cheeks. She wants to just not be there. Everybody is giggling and whispering. Why did she do it all wrong? She hates her picture. She hates to paint. Suddenly, Ms. Mulry is there. What's happening, Sophie? She asks. She did it all wrong, says Andrew. She made it all weird colors. Mrs. Mulry smiles. Sophie, tell us about your painting, she says. It's my favorite tree, Sophie mumbles. I did look at everything just like you said. The branches go straight out and curvy, and the leaves are all jaggedy. I tried painting the trunk gray, but it looked too sad. Sophie's voice gets stronger. So I painted it bright blue because that's how it makes me feel happy. Well, how is that? Asked Mrs. Mulry. It makes me feel good and strong, happy. Yes, says Mrs. Mulry. When I look at your picture, I feel that too. She holds up Sophie's painting for the class to see. This is a birch tree, isn't it, Sophie? Sophie nods her head. Yes, she feels better. But trees aren't blue, Andrew says. That's true, Mrs. Mulry laughs. You're right. Sophie looked very carefully and painted what she saw. She continued, and she used color to show her feelings about her tree and her beautiful picture. Tell us about your picture, Andrew, says Mrs. Mulry. It's a pine tree, Andrew says. It's twisty with patchy barks. The pine needles are sharp and pokey. Sophie points at the roots. His tree is holding onto the hill like it will never let go ever. Yes, says Mrs. Mulry. Perhaps that shows some of Andrew's feelings about his tree. She holds up the two pictures. Both artists look carefully at their trees and made very different ones, but they're very special paintings. It's how you wanted to create it, says the teacher. Now, let's put all the paintings on the floor. Find something special and different in every one. Maybe something you want to use the next time you paint, said Mrs. Mulry. Sophie looks at her painting for a long time. Andrew looks at it too. Your blue tree does look kind of happy, he says. And I like how your tree holds on tight, Sophie says. After school, Sophie walks to her beech tree, but she doesn't feel angry or sad or hurt anymore. Sophie loves painting, and she loves her tree. And Sophie loves just being Sophie. Wow, those books were great. Sophie did get angry. Her sister took that gorilla, even though it was her turn. And then she started to run away and go outside. But you know what? Her parents knew where she was. She just needed to calm down. Sometimes we have to calm down after we're angry too. But make sure we say sorry to the people we're angry with. And the other one, when her feelings got hurt, that boy at school was making fun of her painting because he thought her colors were all wrong. You know what? Use your imagination. You paint the way you want, my friends. And remember, if we hurt somebody, we should say we're sorry. Okay, my friends? See you next time.